or get a free quote online at McMinnvilleMoving.com. McMinnville Moving and Storage, moving your memories to your future for more than 60 years.
Tonight, there will be showers and thunderstorms with a 30% chance of precipitation. Some storms could be severe. It will be cloudy with south winds rolling in at 10 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20 miles per hour. The low tonight is 67. Friday, there's a 40% chance of showers, mostly cloudy skies with a high near 85. South-southwest wind rolling in 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Fun fact, raindrops can fall at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Until next time, keep shining. This is Tisha with your weather.
It's time for Simmons Says, the show that brings Warren County the latest news and stories from around the community. Hosted by Jeff Simmons, this program dives into everything from local events to major headlines. Stay tuned and stay informed.
Hello and welcome to the Simmons Says show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I am your host, Jeff Simmons. I should ask right off the top, Connor, do we have any HR meetings today? I mean, you're the head of HR here. Are we good?
You know, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
So
no meetings today?
Yeah, I think we're good.
No, okay, good. That's what I like to hear.
We'll have to call Chris Sullins and talk about what kind of apps he talks about on the Sports Authority.
Yeah,
but besides that,
disgusting.
Yeah,
Can't believe this
disgusting.
guy. Yeah.
And the drawing that he left of you, wild.
Absolutely. Can't believe that guy. Yeah, no, I knew that it kind of the question becomes, and we have all these fine listeners out there on WBMC listening on the radio right now. They're on the app, and then we have our Facebook Live people as well, and I know they're going crazy. They're having a good time as well. But at what point do you hold against you? What point can we be held against what happens on the OT on just strictly Facebook Live?
I say nothing ever gets held against anybody.
I would hope not.
On the OT. I
would hope not. That's my hope, but we have no clue.
At least by the great and almighty FCC.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. I think we have to make sure that we're all good there. But we
just have to contain ourselves for an hour.
That's it. And then just bust out. Yeah, we'll have a good time. All right, well, we're gonna have a good show today. We're gonna have Lauren Slatton, the Warren County High School valedictorian and a state champion golfer, the definition of a student athlete, going to be on the show with us in the last three segments. For the first segment on Thursday, you know what we do. If you've been here before, you know what's coming, which is Am I Too Old To? And that is sponsored by Silver Scissors. Talked to Tina this week. Man, I can't tell you how much I like Tina Foster. She is the absolute best. Always has great energy. You feel like that's what you're really looking for. Sometimes when you're going to get your hair, you're going to go get your hair cut. You don't want that to be a mundane process. You don't want that to be something that's kind of feels like a chore. You want to know that you're in good hands, and then you also want to know that that they're taking care of you, but they're also going to keep it entertaining. Tina Foster does this, and she told me stress. Hey, it's not just for the ladies at Silver Scissors. It's for the men too. She'll take care of you. She can take you beard trimming, mustache. Yeah, get you a good hairdo. She's got it all over there at Silver Scissors. So hey, I'll tell you this right now: if you want to go see her, please do, and let her know that you heard about her from the Simmons Says radio show. And we'll give you that address here at the end of the segment. Now, the music's queued up. My old man music, my Neil Young, and I'm gonna say I have two. This is what kind of happens when you start doing a reoccurring segment. Is that at some point the ideas don't come to you as easily. So I had one, and it's going to be the one that I'm going to talk about a lot. But the other one I had to look up, and this one almost got me in trouble. Because it said. It was somebody complaining, saying that they were sitting in line at an amusement park for 45 minutes, and they said, "Am I too old to enjoy amusement parks?" And I knew what jokes you were going to make immediately with that topic, so I said, "I'm going to have to cut Connor off there." And I'll just say this much: I've always been too old to enjoy amusement parks. I don't like them. I hadn't liked them since I was a kid, like not even since I was like 10, like 15 years old. We've already established the long-waisted thing.
Yep.
So it makes it really tough for me to get on any rides.
I was about to say, like, you know, the you're not tall enough to ride.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
I'm sometimes too tall,
Yeah.
and then I'm too big and too tall, which doesn't help at all. So they're like, I'll never forget. I was getting on the Superman at Six Flags in Atlanta.
Yep.
And the guy and they have that thing, you know, they go through, they put you in the process, the thing comes over your shoulders. And it's for the people that are watching on Facebook Live, it's barely to like, it's not even past not even to my stomach. So you know this thing's not harnessed me down because they want it to be in your lap pretty much. And the guy comes over, he goes, "Hey, we got a fail sensor. Let's try this again." And I was like, "Hey, just let me off." He's like, "No, we'll get you on there." Happens again. They go through. Mine's the only one that clicks, and I'm like, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be fine." I was like, at this point, I'm in a panic mode.
Yeah.
Like, just let me off this ride. The guy goes, "Just take a deep breath," and he shoulder checks the harness, and it clicks. You can hear it, you know, get a little click. And they're like, "Oh, he's all good." And I'm sitting there at that point, like, "Let me off this ride." And then they're like, "Nope." And then whoosh, we go. I've never been on a ride since.
So
I was like 16, 17. I was like, "No, I was at that point I was too old to do it. I was too tall to do it. I was too big to do it. I had no joy at the amusement park ever since then."
You know what? Like, I'm kind of the same way as far as when it comes to amusement rides and all of that. But you know what amusement parks are great for?
What's that?
People watching.
People watching is amazing. I will say this much: we went to Florida with our basketball team in Christmas time last year, between Christmas and New Year's, and we took the girls to Busch Gardens, and they experienced the same thing we all do, which was talking about how they're in lines for 90 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, but while they're in line for the rides, I'm over there just having a great time sitting around. Busch Gardens is kind of like almost like a zoo, and almost amusement park. So I got to go look at all the animals and ride on a train and go see all the animals. But at the same time, it's like you said, you just sit around and watch people sometimes,
Yep.
and it's like this is amazing. There's an amazing amount of people here that are just fascinating.
That's why I always think it'd be so fun to go to Disney and just people watch.
Yeah, but yeah, you
See all those Disney adults.
Yeah, there is that, but they're also at the same time. I'm kind of like, man, do you really want to?
I'm not going to pay for it.
Oh yeah, see that?
I want to wait outside the gates to see which ones get kicked out.
Yeah,
Like, an adult getting kicked out of Disney is hilarious. Like,
adult kicking out of Disney. Yeah,
like because they're always like they get too drunk.
They got over there into the international park and hit all the places up, and then said, "Hey man, you've had 6 too many over here."
I watched
Mickey
a
Mouse.
compilation. There's 6 of them. They're all about 2 hours long of adults getting kicked out of Disney.
Oh yeah,
and or arrested at Disney.
I couldn't. Oh man, that would be. I might have to watch a little bit of that because that would be really funny. The one "Am I Too Old To" that I actually already had in my head that I wanted to do today, and it kind of popped up last night in some aspects was, "Am I too old to argue with people online?" I don't know. I mean, I've started to think, isn't that kind of my job in some aspects?
I mean,
if we brought a guest on here and we were having a topic of conversation that we just flat out didn't agree on, I feel like there would be an argument, and people would think I mean, we want you to we need you to do that. That being said, that's on a show. That's my job. There's a certain aspect of this that I'm still the person that's sitting in this chair. I'm me, but there's also a radio Jeff, and then there's just like sitting at home Jeff that isn't real. That probably doesn't have to be that doesn't probably need to be confrontational on social media or anything like that. But at the same time, like sometimes you have to call some things out. I think,
and that's the other thing too is like I feel like you're never too old to argue with somebody online, because A, it's hilarious, and sometimes I just like to get people riled up. And then B, I don't want to go argue with somebody in person. It sounds terrible.
I'm not. Yeah, this isn't meet me behind the Himalaya.
Yeah, it's not like
or anything like that.
meet me
No,
at Flat Rock.
Yeah, we're not trying to do any of that. I'm just saying, like, if I see something on Facebook or if somebody comes at me on like a Facebook, if I make a Facebook post and they argue, like, can I not argue back? I don't know. Like, have I just gotten to the point in my life that I'm like, hey, you gotta let bygones be bygones, turn the other cheek, or can I be like, no, that's dumb, and I don't like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just
on a radio show and made a post about the fact that Town Talk is JV, and Raven, like, she's not going to show up to that person's house probably.
No.
But she'll argue with them online.
Yeah, she'll argue online. And
maybe write some bad words.
Maybe even invite him to come on the show and explain himself. I don't know.
Who knows?
I think that. Hey, Chad Graves says the Warren County Sports Authority had a great show last night. I'm telling you, if you stuck around for the full 2 hours, you went through the gauntlet.
Because that show, you hate.
Yeah, the roller coasters that I hate. Because that show went into about 17 different twists and turns. At one point, I think I was almost wheezing for air.
Yeah.
At moments. And in fact, I had somebody. There was a comment I saw way after the live was done that because people go back and watch it, and hey, thank you so much. You can still go back and watch it. In fact, go back and watch all the shows that we have on WBMC 97.7 FM. You can watch those on Facebook. There's also a Main Street Media McMinnville YouTube page that has our entire archive of shows. So if you go back and think, oh man, I really like that one show that Raven did or Jeff did or the Warren County Sports Authority show, and you're like, oh, it's not on Facebook anymore. I bet it's on YouTube. Go look up for it on YouTube. You can find it there as well. And we hadn't stressed that enough.
Yeah, go to YouTube.
Page. Go to YouTube. Subscribe on that. Let's get that page going. Where Jay Walker says, "Am I too old to wear a football jersey?" Hey, that's a fascinating question. That is a fascinating question because I think Jay Walker has actually reverted back to it's okay.
I think so too.
I think somewhere like when you're in your mid-20s you can get away with it, but then like right at the start of like maybe late 20s to early 40s you probably don't need to, but then you get to a point where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, I think once you get to retirement age, you're never too old to really do anything.
Well, it depends on what you do for a living.
Yeah, there is too.
If you're a sports writer who doesn't have an oven, like doesn't get out much, door dashes everything.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to wear a sports jersey.
I think
as long as they're long and tall.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, am I too old to wear a football jersey? If there is a game that you're about to play, Jay, you might not want to be wearing a football jersey. But if you're just saying, hey, I want to put on a football jersey and wear it to support my team, nah, man, you can do that. You're good. You're good. In fact, I would encourage that. In fact, wonder if we could get the flag football team, Ansley Mulligan, Paul Willis. Do we have an extra jersey that we can get to Jay, and maybe he can wear it at the next broadcast or something? Jay, I've signed you up for something that you might not want to be signed up for. Let's get him in one of those nice Lady Pioneer jerseys. Those things are sweet, like the little powder blue ones.
We reversed the things that you and he like. You would be fine wearing the jersey, whereas he'd be fine doing the 5K.
Jay, come walk 3 miles in my shoes.
3.1 miles.
3.1 miles in my shoes in June for me. I really appreciate that. Hey, that was Am I Too Old To? Again, sponsored by Silver Scissors. Go see Tina. She's got all kinds of products that she can get to you, but also, like I said, if you're a guy. I know everybody like I said, if people look at it and say, "Oh, that's not for me." Yes, it is. 1012 South Chancery Street. Go see Tina. See if she can get you an appointment today. And I'm telling you, I think you're not gonna be disappointed. I've been going to her for 31 years now. I don't know. Sometimes I forget how old I am. But Silver Scissors over there on 1012 South Chancery Street. We will be back on the Simmons Says program, and when we are, we'll be joined by Lauren Slatton valedictorian of Warren County High School.
Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane. Listen to yourself. Churn world serves its own needs. Dummy serve your own needs. Feed it up an ox speak grunt. No strength. The ladder starts to clatter with fear. Bite down. High wire and a fire. Represented 7 games in a government for hire and a combat site. Left to us and coming in a hurry with the furies breathing down your neck. Team my team reporters babble Trump. Kevin Crop. Look at that.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Big savings, short month.
Now is the time to buy at Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Get in the new Ford you've been dreaming of. A 2024 Ford Escape, $7,000 off MSRP, just $24,985 after rebate.
Make your escape with the SUV to carry the family and all the necessities, clothes, sports equipment, groceries.
Test drive a new Ford Bronco at Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Power to get the work done. And right now, get up to $19,200 off MSRP. Several Broncos in stock now.
The Ford F-150 is tough, always has been, always will be. Your 2024 F-150 is waiting at Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Save $8,550 off MSRP right now.
Talk about power. Talk about luxury. The Ford Expedition and Expedition Max combines them both. $12,000 off MSRP.
Big savings, short month.
And the clock's ticking, so get to Ed Rogers Valley Ford right now. 111 Auto Lane in Sparta. Or view all the current inventory at EdRogersValleyFord.com.
Big savings now.
Are you tired of being judged? Well, we here at USA Gym are too. We come in all different shapes and sizes with a variety of goals and ideas. At USA Gym, we are 29,000 square feet with a huge variety of equipment in different rooms. And we're not done yet. Classes, we have those too. Zumba, yoga, pound, barre, step, body sculpting, spinning, and an abs class. We have 2 separate free weight areas with dumbbells that go up to 150 pounds. Muscle Beach gives you the option of working out outside. Come check us out. 473-9355.
Peanut butter and jelly, Batman and Robin, macaroni and cheese. These things go so well together, but Ben Lomond Connect would like to add one more thing. Ben Lomond Fiber and Ben Lomond Home. Our national leading speed price offering on a synchronous gig with a top-of-the-line Wi-Fi 6 router, an app to manage your family's experience, and in-depth customer support for just $2 a day. Bring out the best in your home's Wi-Fi experience with Ben Lomond Fiber and Ben Lomond Home. For more information, contact your local BLC office or go to benlomondconnect.com.
Experience the difference at Los Trojas Cantina Mexican Restaurant. Distinctive Mexican cuisine with Cinco 6 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. With Taco Tuesdays, $1.99 street tacos, and 2-for-1 beer specials every day and all draft and bottled beer from 8 p.m. to close. Home of the Margarona. Los Trojas Cantina. Across from Ascension St. Thomas on Sparta Street. Open every day and Sundays.
Hello and welcome back to the Simmons Says show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I am Jeff Simmons and I am joined by Warren County High School valedictorian and state golf champion, the supreme student athlete, Lauren Slatton. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, before we get to the in-depth questions, and we have so many questions for Lauren because this is we as I said, I think you're the personification of a student athlete. I mean, winning on the course, winning in the classroom, you're doing all the things right here. But before we get to that, I want to make sure we thank our sponsors, Douglas and Lanier. They're your hometown insurance experts, specializing in commercial coverage from agriculture, contractors, and workers' comp. They protect businesses big and small. Trust the team that knows hard work, smart coverage, straight talk. That's Douglas and Lanier, 811 Faulkner Springs Road, 474-0044. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations over the years.
We have.
I mean, we've been talking golf. We've had interviews before for years and years. But does it feel different now? Am I a professional now? What's going on?
You've always been considered professional in my eyes, but it feels a little bit more legit in this room, though.
Yeah, you walked into the room and you're like, oh, wow. So we're usually just sitting like on the patio at the country club or something talking about golf, but now we're talking winning in the classroom. I was asking you during the break, you had a path towards the high school that wasn't necessarily, I would say unique would probably be the best way to say it, because you started your freshman year, what I consider your freshman year was your freshman golf year. But then after that, around, I think in the middle of your sophomore year, you enrolled at the high school. At that point, you were homeschooled, I believe?
Yeah, I was homeschooled freshman year, and then I took a gap year in between freshman and sophomore year, so technically no schooling.
Yeah.
So I was still online, and then I went to the high school my sophomore year.
Okay.
But that was my third year playing golf.
Yeah, that was your third year playing golf, but you were technically a junior on the golf course, but a sophomore in the classroom. And then apparently just in the last 3 years was just a shining star and an example to everybody in the classroom, because you've been named valedictorian. Did you kind of know? Did you have an idea that you were in the running? I mean, I know you take your schooling pretty serious.
Yeah, well, they base it off of GPA and ACT. And I've always known like my GPA was pretty solid. So I studied really hard for the ACT, and I sort of had an idea that I might be pretty far up there to maybe get it. Yeah. So
do I need to put you on? How'd you do on the ACT?
I made a 34 composite.
Whoa. Whoa. Connor, we're not fit for this interview at all.
No, we're not.
Wow. That was, I was thinking, I was like, okay, hey, like 30.
Yeah.
What numbers are you about to throw out here? Holy cow. 34 composite. Did you have like a 36 on any, which one? Did you have a 36?
I did.
In which subject?
You want to guess?
I'm trying to think of which one was, what is it? Math, science, English, and reading comprehension?
Yeah.
I'm going to say reading comprehension.
That's
36.
my lowest.
Oh, so
yeah. I read all the time, so that is surprising. But my highest is math.
Math?
Yeah.
You 36 on math. Wow. I don't know if I'm doing the math right, but I would say that means that you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Wow. 30. Wow. That's awesome. That's
Thank
amazing. I mean, that's got to be. I know that we've had some really high scores at the high school over the years. In fact, I think there's been at least one or two people in the last few years that might have put up a 36 across the board.
There was a year like right after I graduated that somebody got a 36.
Yeah. But man, 34. I mean,
I guarantee you'll see two of them next year. There's these twins, juniors, insane. They already have 35s.
Oh,
they're still taking the test. Yeah.
Wow. See,
I'd have quit after 35.
I think I would have quit after 30. I mean, I quit after 30. I was like, yeah, I'm good. That's what I made a 30 on mine, and I was like, I'm good to go here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was back in the day. It was a lot easier then. Y'all, it's a lot tougher for y'all now. I mean,
you're still using an abacus, don't worry.
If you could count on your fingers back in my day, you'd make at least a 26, 27. Now 34. Holy cow, Lauren. I knew it was going to be. I knew it was that, but the 30. So 34 GPA is what I'm assuming.
4.0.
4.0. Yeah. So I mean they've went away from, I think, the weighted scale now, haven't they? Or a little bit.
So basically, how they do rankings is that you have to have a 4.0, so no B's, and then it's just highest ACT from there. But we don't really use weighted. We just
Yeah. Were you ever nervous during your school during any classes that you were going to get a B? Like
freshman year was
how close
tough.
was it?
Oh my goodness, a 90. This is back on the 93 grade scale because it wasn't through Warren County; it was through my online schooling. I made a 92.6, and it got rounded up.
Oh
yeah.
Wow! What was that in?
That was in art, and it was just because I was very behind in my assignments. Freshman year was not a good year for me.
So art. Oh man, yeah, man. I couldn't. Could you imagine thinking back now that if you weren't valedictorian because some art lesson that you didn't turn in
that
right
would have
on
been
time?
Horrible. And I did the extra credits at the end of I did every extra credit available because I knew it was going to be close. But
wow, yeah. So what subjects are you in right now, and how much? I mean, how much are you even how are you dual enrolled right now? Or are you doing a little bit of each, a little bit of everything?
I'm doing dual enrollment chemistry. So I'm in this is the second class for that, 120, I think.
Yep.
And then I'm taking AP Calculus BC. So that's actually my hardest class. It's going to be a lower A, but I think I should get by with an A. I'm also taking young adult literature, a reading class, and then I'm studying for English CLEP tests and a psychology CLEP test.
Wow. So when you get to college, you're going to do it backwards in college. You're going to show up as a freshman trying to golf, but you're going to be like a junior
in school.
Yeah. Really, where are you going to be when you get to UAB?
So it depends on how well I do my tests, but I am predicted to have at least 30 to 35 credits going in.
Yeah.
And I did that because I didn't want to be bombarded with classes because I am doing a harder major. The minimum amount of classes you can take is 4, and normally college people take 6, like 16 hours and 12 hours is minimum. And so with the amount of hours I'm going into, I'll be able to spread it out to just do 12 a year. Yeah. That way I'm not stressed with golf and school.
Yeah, and let everybody know what major that you're planning on, because that was a big reason why you went to UAB as well.
Yes, mechanical engineering.
My goodness. Mechanical engineering, and we haven't even talked about the fact that you might be one of the best female golfers in the entire state. Well, not one of. She was the best female golfer in the state.
Oh.
And have you? We'll get to that after the break. I don't want. I don't want to step on our next. I don't want to get to a topic and then we have to cut it off short. But I want to stick a little bit back on the academics. What is? How much have you had to focus in on that, knowing that that golf does take up a lot of your time, or are you just kind of like a natural where you soak up everything, or are you someone that has to study, hours and hours to make sure it's right?
I think it's a bit of both. I definitely think it comes a little easier to me, especially in math, I would say. It clicks. But some other stuff it doesn't, like reading and English are always been hard for me, so I do study. And I have a chemistry exam this Friday, and I guarantee you after school today, I'm immediately going to be studying for that test tomorrow. Yeah. So
well, if you hopefully we're not making you skip chemistry class right now.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Dual enrollment, you don't have to show up to class too much. Well, no,
you don't want to say it like that.
Not like that. Not like that. He has days he doesn't teach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say, let's not get you in too much trouble, but also at the same time, I just want to. I was kind of curious about that. So yeah, that's wild. You're just this is the modern student, the modern student athlete, Lauren Slatton, who we have on. So we're going to keep Lauren with us till the 10 o'clock hour. I want to thank Douglas and Lanier. Again, hey, your hometown insurance expert specializing in commercial coverage for agriculture, contracting, and workman's comp. They protect businesses big and small. They trust a team that knows hard work, smart coverage, straight talk. That's Douglas and Lanier, 474-0044. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the fact that Lauren Slatton is a skilled golfer, and she's amazing on the in the classroom too. So we're just going to keep celebrating Lauren Slatton the rest of the program.
No.
I lit up from Reno. I was trailed by 20 hounds. Didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight.
Talk Radio, WBMC News is next.
10 years. What an honor to serve our community as Best of the Best nursing home for 10 years in a row. Did you know at NHC Healthcare that we offer a specialty in lymphedema treatment, an option for a short respite stay, and lots of local people to serve you and your family? Stop by and visit us at 928 Old Smithville Road and follow our Facebook page at NHC Healthcare McMinnville to see what really makes us the best of the best.
In the Main Street Journal News, Bobby Graves Jr. is facing 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder after allegedly attacking 2 women in February. Following a preliminary hearing, General Sessions Judge Ryan J. Moore ruled that there was enough evidence to send the case to the Warren County grand jury. Graves' request to reduce his $2 million bond was denied due to his criminal history and lack of local ties. The victims, Jennifer Campos and Brittany Austin, testified Graves attacked them after a ride from Knoxville. Graves was apprehended and a knife was found at the scene. The case will proceed to the grand jury. The Warren County Lady Pioneers flag football won both games, beating Ray Clay County 25-zip and Bledsoe County 21-12. They'll play against Stone Memorial and Van Buren County on Friday. For more info, subscribe to www.mainstreetjournal.llc. With the news, I'm Justin Reed.
Hi, this is Jay Walker, the voice of the Pioneers, and I've got something just for you Pioneer fans. It's the Warren County Sports app, an app that's as dedicated to our middle and high school teams as you are. Live scores, schedules, news updates, and rosters. It's the ultimate tool for staying connected to every play, every game, and every Pioneer and Lady Pioneer moment. I use it, and I think you should too. Download the Warren County Sports app today from your Apple or Google App Marketplace. Let's keep Pioneer tradition strong together.
Today, expect a 40% chance of showers throughout the day with possible thunderstorms between 1 and 4 p.m. Some storms could be severe. The high will reach around 85 degrees with partly sunny skies and a south wind at 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, there will be showers and thunderstorms with a 30% chance of precipitation. Some storms could be severe. It will be cloudy with south winds rolling in at 10 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20 miles per hour. The low tonight is 67. Keep shining. This is Tisha with your weather.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
What a rush. All right, we're back on Simmons Says here on WBMC 97.7 FM. We are joined by Lauren Slatton, who just noticed my phone case that we've talked about on the show before and got a good laugh out of that. It's a good talking point, even though sometimes I've had multiple girls on my basketball team who, of course, if you've been on the show, you know that my phone case was a gift from a girl on the basketball team over Christmas. They're like, hey, you only had to wear that. I only had to keep that on in Tampa. And I'm like, well, I broke my phone case, the other one, taking it off to put that one on. So I'm kind of just stuck with it until I get a different one. But we should thank our sponsor here on the Simmons Says Show. We got multiple sponsors. I mean, we're apparently super popular.
Very popular.
Thank you, Connor. Thanks for that backup there. Hey, if you're in the market for a vehicle, you just need to make a short drive on 55 to Morrison to visit Reddick Brown Ford, which has the largest selection and the best prices on Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. The customer always comes first with Reddick Brown Ford. And General Manager Chris out there, he's the guy. Man, he's the guy. You can go out there. You can on 5917 Manchester Highway, Morrison, Tennessee, or you can visit online at reddickbrownford.com. Really appreciate them. I mean, I'm having. Hey, they're the title sponsor of the Warren County Sports Authority show, which was off the rails last night. In fact, Lauren, don't go back and watch that. But they're title sponsor there. They're on the Simmons Says show. We really appreciate Reddick Brown. They're just doing a great job. I was going to ask, had some questions come in during the break, but I also wanted to ask you, because we're going to talk a bit about your golfing. Mm-hmm. Have you ever scored lower in a 9-hole span than your ACT score? Because now you put your ACT score up to 34. Can you get below 34 in 9 holes? I mean, I'm saying you probably have.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. What's your lowest 9-hole score that you've ever turned in?
I'll be honest, I don't know.
You think maybe like a 29? Maybe you've been 7 under or somewhere on a turn, maybe.
No, my lowest 18-hole score is 8 under.
So 8 under for 18.
Yeah, I think maybe it was a 31.
31, so maybe a 5 under on a 36.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So you actually have scored so highly on the ACT that you actually can get under that in 9 holes. That's
a funny way of putting it, but yes.
Yeah. I would have been like, no, there's not, like, if 99.9% of people, I would say, cannot score so high on the ACT that they can also get under that in 9 holes while on the card. I mean, you'd have to be super smart, and then B, you'd actually have to be a pretty phenomenal golfer too. Because explain this for people that sometimes don't understand that what it's like to be at your level of golfing. Because I think a lot of people that think, you hear scratch golfer or something like that, or I'm a 5 or 10 handicap or something like that. there's very few like true like 5 single-digit handicap golfers. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. There's not many of them. But
I mean, what would your handicap like score be if you were depending on the course?
According to tournaments, because they average it after your tournaments, it's a +2.
Okay.
Which is like 2 under.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily mean I shoot 2 under. It means like it'll apply how hard the golf course is. So if I shoot 75 on an extremely hard golf course, it may equate to 2 under. So that's
Yeah. See, that's why I was saying. Like, I hear a lot of people, "Oh, I'm a 5 handicap or a 6 handicap." I'm like, you're probably not. I mean, the funniest one to me was there's a tournament that's played locally. It's the Industry Appreciation Tournament, and where I was at the paper, they would always sponsor a team, and they're like they had to turn in the handicap scores. So they'd flight you as an A, B, C, or D player on any team because you didn't sign up as a team. They wanted everybody to mix and match, which is fun because it's like, hey, it's a big tournament. It's a meet and greet tournament. You don't want to be playing with 3. I mean, it's not the same as going and signing up for the for different flights with your team. I mean, you know that because you've been one of the most sought after partners for scrambles in Warren County for
I start arguments with those scrambles.
Yeah, I would assume, but so this one you had to fly, and I would always argue with Pat. She would say, "What's your handicap?" I'm like a 25, something like that. She goes, "No, you're not that. You play golf. You're probably like a 10 or a 15." I'm like, "Do you understand that a 10 handicap means that you shoot in the low 80s consistently?" I'm like, "I shoot like 100, and I feel pretty good if I break 100." And I'm like, "Then that's not even the worst." I was like, "I'm not even the worst player most of the time when I'm playing." Like being in the single digits is crazy, and now apparently being in the negative is even crazier. Coach Eric Ballou, the new football coach at Warren County High School, says he's shot over his ACT score on a single hole before. So now I'm a little curious. Like, hey, where was that ACT score, and what did you shoot on that hole?
Hey, it happens. I have some high scores too. I've had tournaments where I'll have like a 10 on a hole. It's not pretty.
Yeah, I love the double par. I love that rule.
Double
par saves you right there. It's like, hey, the worst you can do is a 10. And sometimes you hit 3 off. You hit 3 off the tee out of bounds, and you're like, I'm dropping 7 right now. We're in trouble. Well, you didn't get to play with the high school team this year because you had exhausted your eligibility. In fact, I think the state just said we're tired of her winning every time. Eric Ballou says a lot of water. We've all been there. If you've played golf, you've been in the water.
Yeah, it can be a magnet.
But you did. It's not that you didn't play any golf. How have you been keeping busy on the golf course lately?
Yeah, well, that would have been this past fall. Yep. I played probably like my heaviest season outside of high school last fall. So yeah, I really missed my high school season, but I also played like really good tournaments that I don't regret. And honestly, if I would have played the high school season, maybe it would have been too much. But
and in fact, did you go? Was this past fall? It seems like it all runs together anymore because I've covered so many. I mean, you win so much that it kind of runs together. But was this past year the one where you went to San Antonio? And you explain how you got to San Antonio and what that tournament was and how you ended up doing?
Okay, so the tournament is the USGA Women's Floorball Amateur. So it's a national tournament, and you have to qualify through a qualifier. They have one for about every state. And normally, like 9-10 teams qualify, depending on your state. Like Florida and Texas, they probably get so much more. Yeah. Tennessee's normally pretty decent at golf, though, so we get a few. And so you have a teammate, and you compete against these 9 other teams, and the top team gets to qualify for nationals. And so we went up there, and we were kind of nervous because lots of the people we're competing against were college players. 2 MTSU girls were paired together, and these girls, and we're junior golfers. And we shot 9 under as a team. And we qualified for nationals, and we're like, okay, we'll just try to do the best we can. And nationals is a long tournament. You have to qualify, and continue getting to like the top spots. And we made it way past what we thought we were. We're like, we might be going home on the 3rd day, but we didn't go home until the 5th. And we got into the semifinals, which was really special.
Yeah.
And that was such a great tournament. We did get beat out by a 15-year-old prodigy, though.
Oh, wow. a prodigy.
15 years old, already qualified for U.S. Open.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Prodigies, that's the exact right word. I shouldn't have doubted the 34 ACT on no word choice there. 100%. Hey, shout out your teammate. Who'd you play with?
Savannah Cherry. I love her. We have totally different games, which is why we work so well together.
Mhm.
I take the par 5s. She's got the par 3s. We're all good.
Hey, knowing who you are and knowing who your teammate is and how y'all work together is a huge thing when it comes to that. Yeah, man, I remember talking to your dad about that, and it was like, hey, we're playing some big time golf against some big time players. So it's a good in that aspect that you've already seen all these players before you even get to the college level. I mean, you've been competing against college golfers since you were probably a 15-year-old prodigy yourself.
Well, yeah, I think the past 2 years, definitely.
Yeah.
I've started playing in bigger tournaments, and you get like the Women's Open in Tennessee and the Women's Amateur, and you see like a lot of college people there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's amazing, and like you said, we're going to talk a little bit more about the scramble stuff after this break. But we want to thank Reddick Brown Ford. Hey, Jordan out there, the service manager at Reddick Brown Ford, and his team are making car care easy with complimentary pickup and delivery to get your car or truck serviced. Certified technicians that will do the job right out there at Reddick Brown Ford, and you can schedule your service at reddickbrownford.com. We'll be back after the break on the Simmons Says show on WBMC 97.7 FM.
Hey there, builders and do-it-yourselfers. It's time to dust off those tool belts and get ready for the biggest celebration of the decade. Pioneer Building Supply is turning 50. Yeah, you heard that right. 50 years of building dreams and making projects a reality. Since 1975, we've been your go-to spot for all things lumber, tools, and building supplies. Whether you're tackling a big remodel or just need a few supplies, we've got it all. And this April the 1st, join us for a totally tubular time. Fun food and prizes to kick off the party. Oh, and don't forget retro pricing on dozens of items all week long. That's right, Pioneer Building Supply, 231 Northgate Drive, Suite 250, McMinnville. Celebrating 50 years of top-notch service and rock-bottom prices. You won't find a better place to build your dreams. Pioneer Building Supply, building your dreams since 1975.
Pioneer Building Supply. Pioneer Building Supply, where good business make good friends. Pioneer Building Supply.
Douglas and Lanier, that's where I choose to be. Douglas and Lanier, that's the agency for me.
For rock-solid insurance coverage or sound financial planning for my family's future, Douglas and Lanier is where I choose to call home.
Call Douglas and Lanier, your local Erie agents, at 811 Faulkner Springs Road, McMinnville, at 931-474-0044.
Your family deserves better than ordinary. At The Butcher on Main, you'll find the freshest dairy delivered daily from Sunrise Dairy and real McMinnville-made jams and jellies that taste just like home. Our house-made sausage and premium meats are crafted for meals that wow. And our gourmet cheeses will have your guests asking for seconds. Need a space to celebrate? Our 1,000 square foot lounge is ready for your next event. Why settle for less? Find everything you need at 209 West Main Street, only at The Butcher on Main.
Hi, this is Chris from Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison. In the market for a new truck? We have a huge inventory of new Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks. Whether you need power for off-road adventures or reliability for work, we've got you covered. We offer great value and customer satisfaction that can't be beat. Our store is also the recipient of the 2023 Ford President's Award. It's no wonder folks say it's worth the drive to Highway 55. Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison or online at reddickbrownford.com.
Why don't you head over to Chicken Chef and enjoy a fresh made-to-order meal, or choose from the all-time favorite like the Chicken Nugget Dinner. Stop in for breakfast, order right off the menu with sausage, gravy, fresh homemade biscuits, or try their delicious tenderloin, egg, and cheese biscuit, just to name a few. Whatever your taste buds call for, you're sure to find it at Chicken Chef. They've been serving Warren and surrounding counties for over 40 years. Stop in today, Chicken Chef on the Strip in McMinnville. You can call your order in to go at 473-5020.
Talk Radio WBMC McMinnville, 960 AM and 97.7 FM. WBMCRadio.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Simmons Says show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. Everybody joining us, thank y'all so much. I think Connor recovered nicely there, because I think we had some technical difficulties there for a minute.
Yeah, my program crashed.
Yeah, that's always fun.
So you got a little bit of extra smooth operator.
A lot of extra smooth operator.
The whole song.
Yeah. Was it you trying to say that was that you talking about you in the background being a smooth operator working on the programming? Or just
because that was not smooth. It's a good thing my mic was off.
Well, I sit there for a second and I looked up and I was like, the bar's not running. And I always know that if I take my headset off and then all of a sudden you keep looking at me, it's like when you're trying to get my attention and say, I need to tell you something, but I can't if you don't put your headphones back on. And then when I did, I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. Which means I already told Lauren, she said that she didn't have anywhere pressing to be at 10 a.m. So we're going to go into OT.
Okay.
So if you're on Facebook, you can stick with us. If you're on WBMC 97.7 FM, get somewhere where you can get on Facebook and be able to listen to a little bit more with me and Lauren. But I will tell you right now, this segment is going to be brought to you by the Cafe at Tree City, because if you need a refreshing brew, a bold espresso, or maybe something on the go, the Cafe at Tree City has you covered. You can order ahead for a quick pickup or curbside delivery by downloading the Local by Toast app. Download it. Search the Cafe at Tree City. The cafe is open from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. They're over on 809 Sparta Street. Lauren, you look like somebody that likes some coffee.
I love coffee. I'm addicted to it.
Love some coffee. Hey, then we're gonna have to set you up and have to get you
I'll
over there.
get one
to the
right
cafe.
after this.
The Cafe at Tree City. We have to go over there. I don't do coffee, but we're gonna be doing live remotes there, and I've already told them y'all teach me the coffee ways.
The coffee ways?
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm a bit untraditional with my coffee.
Okay.
So I either get a cold brew or a shaken espresso, which is the espresso milk. You just shake it up with syrup. But it's so good. It's so good. It gets you awake too. So.
Oh mercy! Yeah, so all right. Well, I'll try anything. We'll see how it goes.
A cold brew is what I recommend starting out with. Okay. Yeah.
So that'll ease me into it, into the coffee game. Okay. I'm okay with that. All right. So hey, we were talking because you said that you were watching a clip from yesterday's show. Where we talked to Monica Moore, Mad Cow Running Company and Outfitters, and she was talking about her 100-mile journey on a race in Arizona. What do we have a golf equivalent? Because it sounds like your time in San Antonio might have been as close as that as you got to being like the grueling day after day nature of golf.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a golf equivalent for that. San Antonio would be the closest. Yeah. 7 days of 18 holes, with one of those days being 36 walking. Yeah. So that was a lot. Walking the course versus riding.
in a cart. I mean, I'm sure at times. I mean, you probably don't ride in the cart much. I wouldn't think. I mean, just because you know you're going to have to walk it more. But does that affect, like, if you do go and play and you're like, hey, I'm just going to take the cart today? Does it affect your game in a good way, bad way?
I think it depends. Like, if you're waiting a lot of shots, sitting down for a long time doesn't help. But if you're standing up and moving around, I don't necessarily think it will affect you. In a tournament, I think it does. I would rather be walking.
Always
Not
walking.
unless I'm playing 36, because then you just be tired at that of it. But, yeah, I think walking may be better, but carts not necessarily like, too bad.
Yeah. Well, we were talking before the break about everybody wanting to get you as a scramble partner. But, I mean, normally in these 4 people scrambles, you're definitely going to be on a cart there.
Yes.
And then also you have to wait for 4 people.
Yeah.
Do you get? I mean, that does not seem like, to me, as much as I know you love playing golf and you love winning, and almost every single time you're in one of those scrambles you win. But is there a little bit of frustration that sets in and you're like, hey, hey, let's go.
A little bit. I can be impatient at times, but it's still fun. We're strategizing the entire time because you're like, you have to figure out what shot you're going to hit, stuff like that. So it's still fun.
Where are you usually positioned on a scramble team in the order of hitting, or is it hey, let somebody else go lay up or something like that? We'll let Lauren bomb it, or where are you usually in the order?
Well, this is why I said I start arguments. And not necessarily because of like whose team I'm on, but because the rules for most scrambles is that the girls get to play from the red tees. And red tees are about 5,200 for people who don't know. And I play from 6,200. So when I get from the red tees, lots of the time I could just drive the par 4, and people don't want me playing from the red tees. And so normally people just lay up, and I'll just go to the red tees and try to get on the green.
Yeah. I was like, you're a cheat code.
You're a little
code
bit
in any scramble, especially if you get the red tees. I mean, is it almost to you where you're like, I don't want them? Like, is there sometimes?
No,
when your
I
team,
want to win. I don't care.
So you'll go up and walk the red tee. But are there ever times when you're just like, hey, look, let's give somebody else a chance here. I'll play from. I'll do the white instead of the red. Yeah.
I've never not abused it. I think I abuse it a lot. I won't lie.
So hey, if it means winning, well, I mean, what's the lowest number you've probably put up in a scramble?
In a scramble, I played at the Willowbrook Scramble. We got second with the score, but I think we shot 24 under.
24 under.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, y'all were putting so a 58? No, 48.
Yeah.
A 48.
It was something around
second.
that number. Yeah. We had people from McMinnville come and beat us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of coffee people over there. But there was a scratch golfers from McMinnville. Coach Matheny, the old coach Matheny from the middle school.
Yeah.
I swear his team put on like a 25 or 26.
They had a good eraser.
Oh, yeah. Wait. No. That just hit. No, they're good golfers.
Yeah, it's funny. How often does that kind of get into it? Because y'all have to keep each other's scores in high school. How often do you have that argument of, hey, I had 3? No, you had 4. It's like, you had 3. or I had 3. I mean, how many times does that actually happen?
I don't think it happens. Oh, I don't want to say this in a bad way. It doesn't really happen with golfers who shoot lower scores because it's really obvious if you do that.
Yep.
However, if you put down a really bad score, I have seen it happen because when they shave off a stroke, some people might not know.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily correct it too much, not unless they're being like really bad about it. Yeah. Because lots of the time, like they're just getting into golf. So. But not too often.
And sometimes it's just an honest mistake instead of an actual.
Yeah, really. Some people don't notice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it is. I can understand the point you're making there because if you're shooting consistently right at par or birdie or bogey, it's not that hard to look back and say, okay, I hit it from there, and then I hit it there, and then I was here, and then I 2-putted here. I had 5. It's pretty easy, and they're like, oh yeah, you're right. So instead of putting there, all right, we're going to wrap up the radio portion of the Simmons Says show, but we are going to go in OT with Lauren Slatton because we have a lot of questions that have been asked by readers. But before we do that, I want to make sure we thank our sponsor again, the Cafe at Tree City. What sounds good to you? A classic latte or a fresh and cold brew, apparently. Bold espresso. The Cafe at Tree City can do either. They can do all 3. So head over to 809 Sparta Street where you can wake up, sip up, and enjoy. We will be back on the Simmons Says program tomorrow. We will be talking to another D1 athlete, Kyra Perkins.
Oh,
We'll be joining the show tomorrow. And, of course, my dad will be here on Friday for Father and Son Friday on WBMC 97.7 FM. Stick with us on Facebook. We'll be going in OT.
She's such a good basketball.
No, I've said too much. I set it up. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep.
All right, we are back in the OT portion. Everybody that's on Facebook, appreciate y'all joining us. And we're going to talk a little bit more with Lauren Slatton. Lauren, I never know what the bumper music's going to be when we come back in. And sometimes I know it, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I do know it. I didn't know that. What was that?
That was Can't You See?
Oh, that was
Marshall Tucker, yeah.
And to say that, you keep throwing me off with that one. Keep throwing me off with the
And
remix.
that was the original Marshall Tucker one.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll argue that one. Was it a live version of it?
It's just what was in the system for Marshall Tucker.
I don't know about that. Okay. As we've been talking, I've been getting a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get that. And I've also been thinking about a few more things I wanted to ask you about. But so fascinating. I mean, I think we actually ended up going a little bit long in that B block, Connor, because for about 2 minutes, I didn't know what to say anymore after she told me she made a 34 on ACT.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was
I
a lot
was
of dumbfounded. Like,
Yeah. Oh no.
Lauren intimidated both of us. Like,
Yeah.
hey, it almost turned into the old Chris Farley show. Like, hey, remember when you made an 34 on ACT?
Yeah,
that was awesome. It was so impressive. So I will say this much: you brought up the fact that reading's your favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite book?
Favorite book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that any kind of the inspiration of you seem like you always have
the tattoo?
Yeah, I don't know if that. I mean, I've never read the book, so there might be I don't know if the connotation.
Have you seen the movie, Jeff?
No.
So you have no idea what it's about?
No. Did I just put her in a really awkward position and I didn't know it?
No,
not necessarily.
Okay.
No, Elizabeth Salander with the tattoo is actually my favorite character. That's not the reason why I wear the tattoos.
Oh, okay.
It's just a good mystery book I like.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. And then so it kind of explained the tattoos. I mean, because you get the press on tattoos when you go and play.
Yeah, my dad bought them like 4 years ago for a cruise. We went on vacation, and he's like, "It would be kind of cool to wear tattoos." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe." And so I wore one on the cruise, and my dad and I were joking around. Imagine if I intimidate with my competitors with these tattoos. He's like, "That's a great idea." And so ever since that moment, I think for all my high school career, I've always worn tattoos. It's always on this shoulder too, for some reason, but. It's a signature. Yeah, that apparently the 280-yard drives were not intimidating enough. She also, sorry about that. Yeah, the 280-yard drives were not intimidating enough. She also needed to have tattoos, and it's not like I mean, you're what 5'7", 5'8"? 5'9".
5'9".
Yeah.
I mean, like I was like, it's like this 5'9" girl who is hitting bombs.
Yeah.
And now has tattoos. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of the same strategy John Daly goes for, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
John Daly, your personal fave. You're a big John Daly fan.
Yeah, he's very bold in his decisions. I like him a lot.
I would say, yeah. Who are some of the professional golfers, both male and female, that you kind of looked up to, or say, hey, that's kind of what I emulate a little bit?
I think for the guys, Phil Mickelson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very bold when it comes to the punch-out shots.
Yeah.
So bold that my parents get scared when they watch me. Because if I'm in between the trees, all I see is the green. Yeah. I don't want to punch out in the fairway. There's just something in my head that doesn't want to make me do it. And Phil does that, so I like that part of the game.
And you just wish you were left-handed, too.
Oh yeah, make it even better.
Yeah,
I think for the girls, Michelle Wee,
Mhm.
she hits a really long drive.
Yeah.
So I always like watching her play.
You know, it's interesting to me that you always hear the old adage that you drive for show, putt for dough.
Mhm.
But it sounds like you do like being just big and bold off the tee. Like, is that something? Do you think that's the strength of your game, or what is the strength of your game?
I think that and getting up and down, I can get out of really tricky situations. I'm not necessarily the most consistent. I think I play with so many golfers who probably hit more greens and probably make more putts than I do. But if I have to chip around the green or get out of something sticky in the trees, like I can normally pull it off and make a par. I don't have huge scores on my scorecard.
Yeah. And do you think that you didn't mention putting in there? Is that something that I would assume that putting is something that you just have to get experience is all it comes down to, that you have to just at some point have to have lived every single putt before you really think that you're a putting master. And sometimes I don't even think that there is a putting master.
Maybe some of the pros, there's been putting blocks I've had where confidence-wise it wasn't really there. And so you get up to the short ones, and then all of a sudden you're expected to make it, and then you miss it. And I've been there so many times. I think I'm good on long-distance putting, but definitely I think it's been better over the years with my confidence, but putting's always been a bit of a struggle.
Are you somebody on a long putt that is thinking make it, or are you trying to think keep this at a 2?
Keep this as a 2. But if it goes in, great.
Yeah. So, I mean, now granted, that always will change depending on, if you're playing like a stroke play or if you were playing like a tournament where it was 18 and you're counting all of it, then maybe you're a 2. But if you were in like a match play and had to win that hole on a skin or something like that, it's like, it's time to, I'm going to have to make this one.
Match play, I think match play is the reason I play better. It forces me to be confident. And stroke play, like, hey, you have another hole. And you're not really like, it's not one-on-one competing. But in the match play, like, I have to make it.
Yeah.
And so I think I make more putts on the match play.
So, because you go for it.
I go for it.
Yeah.
I'm more confident.
Yeah. Well, hey, my dad just messaged me and said, hey, she should tell her opponents her ACT score as well. That would intimidate them.
I played with some really good, smart golfers. One of my good friends went to Washington University, extremely smart. So I don't know if that impressed them too much.
They're just like, oh, yeah, well, I did that too. Yeah, well, it might turn around on you. They're like, 34? That's it?
36. What are you talking about?
36 when I was 12. What's going on?
Oh,
or your 15-year-old prodigy that you faced off in San Antonio. What was that like? Because I would assume most of your golfing life, especially around here, you've been the best. Like when you were 12, 13, playing at the middle school, everybody already knew you. I mean, I'm writing sports, and I remember getting messages and saying, "Hey, you're going to need to come out here and watch the middle school." He's like, I was like, "What's going on with golf?" They're like, "There's a girl that plays here that is amazing. She's going to win every championship that she plays." So I started hearing about you when you were like 12 at the middle school. You've had that going for you for years and years. You're consistently at the top of the leaderboard of that. But what was it like when you see someone that's 15 and you're like, oh, this is that. So she's kind of me a couple of years ago.
It's different.
Yeah.
It makes you realize, like, oh my goodness, there's some girls who are actually insane.
Yeah.
Like robots almost. Yeah. Like where my game, I may make a par like from the trees. She's making a par consistently from the fairway on the green to putt and making the putt sometimes for birdies. Yeah. So it was crazy seeing that.
It's always interesting to me. I've never been here.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to the level that I don't know if it's funny. We had this conversation yesterday talking about having that feeling, like knowing what the feeling is of caring about something. Or Lauren, this is where I would ask Lauren on this one is you're at a place as a golfer that few people that are ever been. I mean, you're a state champion. You're I don't know. You've won. How many tournaments do you think you've won in your lifetime? 100?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think high school definitely adds onto that number. Outside of high school, not too many.
So I mean that would be where it would be an interesting conversation to have, where for anybody that really knows golf around Warren County would say Lauren Slatton's as good of a golfer as there is. But then when you get into a tournament and you see someone, you're like, oh, she might be. I mean, at 15, she's probably better at 15 than you were at 15. It's like,
oh, absolutely. She's better at 15 than I am now. I mean,
I was like, is that a tough realization, or is that something that you just say, hey, that's good, and I'll get better. We'll get better. She'll get better, and we'll keep playing.
It definitely motivates me to work harder. But at the end of the day, I always think to myself, like, I have a lot of stuff going on, and and who knows, maybe I could be at that level, maybe I can't, but those people work really hard and they deserve it. So, they're better than me. Like, that's going to happen. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's interesting you said that, because, how much work that they have to put in, but you're talking about, you're a fantastic golfer and you put a lot of work into it. I mean, how many hours do you probably work in a week on your golf game?
Active season,
yeah.
Oh, at least 20.
At least 20 hours a week, and I think that's not just for people out there thinking, oh, she just goes and plays golf for 20 hours.
No, I'm on the range most of the time. Yeah. So,
in fact, that'd be something that I would be interested in. How much, when you're talking about active season in a week, how much of that 20 hours is spent actively playing, like on the course playing a hole, compared to how much you're off the course? Working on your swing in a simulator or stuff like that. What's the balance there?
So I don't necessarily know the exact hours. On weekends, I try to play 18. It's better because you don't have school. Yep. But during the weekdays, I may play 9 holes or maybe less than 9 holes, but I'm spending a lot more time practicing. So I normally spend most of my time at the range. Like yesterday, I went out for 2 hours on the range. And the day before that, an hour and a half. And the day before that, like another hour and a half. So I definitely spend a lot of time practicing.
And 2 hours on the range yesterday, how many clubs are you hitting? Are you hitting them all, or are you focusing on specific things?
It depends on what I'm doing. I think my big struggle is being consistent. So I work on a lot of technical moves. So normally I stay with like a few irons and I just hit those and I do different motions to try to get my swing mechanics worked out. So not too many clubs normally.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier about being bold and on the course. So when you said your different shapes and stuff like that, are you in some aspects trying to envision like, oh, this is how I would hit this iron if I was in this situation? Even on the practice range?
Sometimes. But for tournaments, I will try to play the 18 holes on the range because I have a pretty good memory. And you play so many golf courses, you'll remember them. Yep. So I'll go through every single shot sometimes before a tournament on the range. Yeah. So
wow. So that's an incredible. Are you playing them like sequential too? Like you're sitting there like
number 1, par 4, driver and pitching wedge, and then number 2 is a par 5 and something like that.
And you'll just go back to the bag and be like, oh, that's where wow. So you're I mean, she's hitting 70 shots in her head before the tournament even starts, Connor. I mean, how much golfing have you done?
I've been to a driving range.
I've been to a driving range too, and I can promise you, I never one time ever on the driving range was sitting there mapping out the course that I was about to play, thinking, oh, I could hit this one or that one. I was just sitting there thinking, man, it would be sweet if I could hit like 3 in a row straight.
That's my thing, and I'm also a left-handed person playing with right-handed clubs.
That's like my dad.
I'm a left-handed person that has left-handed clubs. If you ever want to hit with left-handed clubs, man.
I don't go to a golf course to play golf anymore.
Yeah, I know where you. There you go. Hey, you're going to UAB, and Paul Howard asked, "Are there NIL opportunities for college golfers?"
No, you don't really see that. I think maybe with the bigger schools, like Stanford, they're great for women's golf. I definitely see that maybe they would have some, and definitely for the men as well. But I don't think UAB would have any of that.
Yeah. What schools were on your radar, or what schools were you on their radar, I guess? I mean, you said Stanford or stuff like that. Or what are some of the biggest schools that maybe reached out to you? I mean, I know you picked UAB a lot because of the coach. You really liked the coach, from what I remember. And then, of course, they had your major, so that made it really easy for you. And it kind of kept you locally. But did you have I mean, go to some of these tournaments, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, this girl's in the semifinals as a 17-year-old. Maybe we need to start reaching out to her about. I mean, who was in that mix?
I never really had like huge D1 schools contact me. I think the biggest D1 school that contacted me was Colorado State, probably. Mm-hmm. But also at the same time, it's like my major is very taboo in golf. Like not a lot of coaches want it. If you look at some of these like golf teams, everyone's majoring in like business, or I'm not saying these majors are bad. No. They're just majors that don't have labs. Yeah. And coaches don't want that. So
I have a business degree.
Like I said, not bad. I'm just saying the labs definitely interfere with practice.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
But I had most of the D1 schools in Tennessee talk to me, except for Vandy and UT. Mm-hmm. I talked to the top 3 schools. I narrowed it down to after talking to a bunch of people was Abilene Christian University, which is in Texas, and then UAB, and then Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Florida. So.
Goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you talked about the mechanical engineering degree. Is there something that you envision as your profession going forward on that, other than maybe like LPGA golfer?
I don't know about that one. I always wanted to work in something to do with like airplanes. I've always been obsessed with airplanes, so that sounds silly, but I was wanting to do aerospace engineering, and that's why I was talking to Embry-Riddle, because that's what they're known for. But mechanical is a close second. And I've always wanted to work for some corporation or some big company and maybe like be a manager, like a head engineer somewhere. My goal is to get my engineering degree and get my MBA.
Okay.
So.
Oh, so I will say that if that's your goal, then it's probably going to happen at this point. Drew Walker in the comment sections says that he really has to think hard on what clubs that he has to use when he's playing Wii golf.
Oh my! Well, Wii golf is hard. I'm really bad at Wii golf. So.
Yeah. Are you good at putt-putt?
No, I'm not. The golf balls are not the same. The putters are not the same. You just hit it. You just have to hope it goes in.
Would you be somebody that would get to the putt-putt course and then see the clubs that they have and say, hey, no, I got my putter in the car?
I do that with Topgolf. Really? I won't lie. I bring my clubs to Topgolf. I don't think I've done it for putt-putt, but going to the extreme on that one.
Yeah. But do you like it when you're playing putt-putt?
Mm-hmm.
Family or say, I mean, your dad's pretty competitive in anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course you have a sister that played
college
golf.
Both my sisters played college. Yeah.
So how competitive are a family putt-putt game and B like a family 18-hole game?
I think putt-putt's way more competitive. I think.
So what you're saying is the 18-hole golf, it got less competitive when you started winning all the time?
Oh, well.
I said it. For the Slatton family, I said it. She didn't say it. She was thinking it. No.
No, I think with the putt-putt, I definitely think my sisters are better putters. I will say that. Like, maybe I've beaten them more on the golf course. But when it comes to putt-putt, I'm towards the bottom of my family when it comes to that.
How's mom at putt-putt? Or she's the score so she's in there.
No, she
putt-putt?
plays. She won't back down. She's competitive. We're all competitive.
Oh, well, I mean that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It makes sense at all. Yeah. Does she ever play the 18, or is that when she's kind of steps back and watches?
She plays 9.
She does play 9?
Yeah, from time to time.
I was gonna say I knew your dad played a lot. I didn't know. I never kind of gathered whether or not your mom played a ton.
I think she's like been on and off for golf. She played it when I was little, and then she took a huge break, and then she started picking it back up about a year ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I guess at some point, if you're going to be in a family of all golfers, it would be weird not to at least pick up a club every now and then.
But I tell you, she's a very avid golf watcher. She knows so much more about the pros than what I do. Like I keep up with it, but she is watching golf all the time.
Yeah.
So.
The last couple things here, math.
Mm-hmm.
That 36 ACT, golly, I'm just blown away right now. Is there any ways in which did you get to incorporate your math knowledge on the golf course? Do you think that it helps you in ways?
If you want me to be completely honest, I think it might hurt me in some ways because I know what score I have in my head at all times, and I always know what are my chances to make a birdie on the next hole? Like, what holes have high handicaps and what holes have low handicaps? So it can stress me out a little bit. But I'm also very smart when like calculating my shot, like the wind coming in, like adding how many yards and things like that. So
you have an advantage, but then sometimes the stats get you too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh mercy! See, is there ever been a course that you've went to and just said, I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to get on the course, step on the tee box at number 1, and go, and just tell me. I'll look on the side and see the distances. Or are you somebody that's like, I want to be researched?
I'm over prepared. I play the course like for state. I played it like twice before I even walked on that golf course for the state championship. Like I always play way beforehand.
Okay, so and that makes sense. I mean, you're trying to win a state championship. You
but that's what like
know.
not unless I'm playing for fun somewhere. Yeah. Like if I'm going on vacation, I'll just go up and hit. Yeah. But like if it's just like competitively, then
Okay, so on vacation, let your hair down, and just bombing them. Yeah. What's been your favorite golf shot that have you ever hit? Have you had a hole-in-one?
Golf shot? I have, and I was really lucky because people saw it happen, so I had evidence.
How old were you when you hit the hole-in-one?
I had been 15.
15. Oh, so
yeah.
Wow. if you wanted to, Lauren Slatton has accomplished more before her 18th birthday than I think than I've accomplished in my life.
I'm there with you, Jeff.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're feeling just as impressed as I am. But was that your favorite shot that you ever hit, or do you have one that kind of sticks out?
Favorite shot? Let me think.
I mean, you've probably hit some rescues. You've probably hit big. I mean, it would almost probably be tough for you to narrow it down. Maybe a favorite drive, a favorite rescue, and a favorite putt because they're.
I think a favorite rescue of mine. I'm really good for some reason. Fairway bunkers are my specialty, and I had this one fairway bunker. It's such a horrible drive. I hit into the other fairway. It was in the other fairway's bunker, and I had this huge tree to go over. And I, like, hitting on the bunker, like, you hit a little bit of sand, it's going nowhere. And I somehow hit it clean, but also high enough to get over the tree, and I hit it, like, 10 feet away from the hole. Yeah. So that's definitely my favorite rescue. I always remember that shot. No, I don't.
Oh, no. we can't hit the safe shot and then miss the birdie putt off of it.
No, I don't think I did.
Did it matter, though, or did you just like,
hey, it's a par, so it's okay.
Yeah. And then I guess, what's probably been one of the longest putts that you've ever hit?
Longest putts. Whew.
I mean, you ever hit one of those ones where it's like a 70-footer?
Yeah, I definitely have before. You hit so many of them, like percentage-wise, you have to hit one of them.
Yeah.
I think the longest
Doing
putt.
the math.
Yeah. I think the longest putt ever hit, I was like on this huge green. It had to be like 90 feet. Of course, the pin's on the way right, and I hooked my approach shot in, and I made I was on the left side of the green. I like made this huge 90-foot putt for birdie.
And did you hit it thinking if this is just close, I'm gonna be lucky?
Yeah. I'm hoping for a 2-putt because a 3-putt's very plausible here.
Yeah. And then it just goes in. Was it like a tiger fist pump after that? Is there
disbelief?
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness, that went in.
Is there like a notable Lauren Slatton celebration that anybody's pointed out for you? What is it?
So when I'm putting, if it looks like it's going in, I start crouching to the ground for some reason. I'm like crouching all the way, and then I'll stand up immediately after I make it.
So you're not chasing it in. It's like, oh
no, I'm like, wait.
So it's one of those like, I don't want to move. Maybe let's get really low. Let's not scare it.
I know. I'm like contracting. Like, please go in.
All right. Well, Lauren, I'm super impressed by everything that you've been able to accomplish in high school, and I know you're going to do a lot of great things when when you get down to Birmingham, and of course, like you said, mechanical engineering, MBA, and also, I mean, your college season will pretty much start the moment you get there, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going to be doing fall and spring.
Yes.
So the fall is fall's obviously season, but spring's where you can compete for championships, right?
Yeah, you have conference, regionals, nationals.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good luck with that. I'm sure we'll be catching up with you there, and I'm sure we'll see you crossing that, do you get to do the speech? Are you on the? So you have to give a speech at graduation. I'm guessing.
I will. I haven't started working on that, so.
Just wing it. Don't even
wing it.
Yeah. It's for someone who's over prepared for everything. Just go up there and be like,
I know.
Jeff Simmons told me that I just need to wing it. So I don't have anything
me
to
and my
say.
friend were both stressing about it. She has to write hers too. So.
Oh, yeah, it's a London salutatorian. Yeah, I can't even spell those words. So so don't take my advice too much. Lauren, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of our sponsors of the Simmons Says show. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. on WBMC 97.7 FM. My dad will be in, father and son time, and we'll also have Kyra Perkins joining us, another D1 athlete from Warren County.
Great basketball player.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lauren, and thank y'all, everybody, for joining us and sticking with us on Facebook.
Thank you.